the Community Committee, which is being held here at Newton Lees Pavilion on Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024. This within 2 seconds. This might not working now. Wait. Okay. Yeah, so I'm Councillor Terry Stevens, and I'll be chairing this meeting. Before we start, there are some housekeeping points to note. We're not expecting a fire drill, so if the fire alarm sounds, please leave quickly as possible. Fire exits are right in front, and the assembly point is in the car park at the front of the building. Toilets are located in the foyer. Please can you turn off your phones or put them to silent. We want everyone to be able to hear, so please respect whoever is speaking. Also, you should be aware that the meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be streamed to our social media channels. I will now ask members of the council and the committee to introduce themselves, starting with Councillor Samantha Brown.
I'm Councillor Samantha Brown.
Councillor Tulia Fernandez.
I'm Marie Weimer.
John Fairclough, Deputy Town Clerk.
Delia Shepherd, Clerk to the Council.
Richard Graham, Councillor and Vice Chair of the Council.
Thank you very much. And online we've got Karina, and we've also got Aisha. Okay.
I'm from Manor South.
Thanks, Aisha.
Thank you. We have no members of the public tonight, so we don't need to think about the maximum 3 minutes to allow them to speak, unless they come for the start the meeting, which might help. Okay. Okay. So there's nothing I can see that's going to go into confidential mode.
No.
On the agenda. So
Nothing planned.
Straight on. Nothing planned at this moment in time. Okay. So should we go to pages 1 to 2? Oh, sorry. Can we note the councillor's apologies for absence, please?
Had apologies from Councillor Palmer.
Thank you.
Councillor Kelly Wilson's just coming through behind you, Chair.
Okay. Good time. Apologies, Chair. No problems. To note councillors' declarations of interest and matters on the agenda. So, is anything on the agenda which is keen interest? That's a no. We're on to agenda item 3 to approve the minutes, the draft minutes of previous meetings of the committee, pages 1 and 2 in your pack. We can say there. Any comments on that? Okay, thank you. Okay, so the next one is public speaking time. We have no public to speak at this point. I expect anyway. So we'll go on to 5. Okay, so let me go back on here. Let's get my. Okay. Yes, I've got the agenda on there. Okay, so right, so this is agenda number 5. So this is a community grant application for the COVID-19 Families UK for the sum of £1,000. So we have no representation tonight. The lady who is representing this was a lady called Deborah Lewis, who was the founder of the COVID-19 Families and has applied for a grant for the inaugural COVID Memorial Day planned on the 3rd of March 2024, of which MK is selected as the host city. So the funding is for this event. So it was chosen over London, Manchester, Liverpool, Cardiff, Swansea, Hereford, and the organiser has done a number of things since she sadly lost her grandfather to COVID in 2020. We go on to the next page 4. So yeah, the event's on the 3rd of March in Milton Keynes, and this is going to be the first city in the UK to host this such a public memorial for COVID loss, which I think is a really good opportunity for the city as a whole. In terms of how it benefits the community, improves access to local support services, improves approachability to local parish councils and councillors, showing support and understanding to local breed, enabling them to feel more supported in their community and more willing to access support if needed. It will publicly show Milton Keynes and its parishes in a favourable light and a caring and compassionate society. So they were looking for £1,000. Of course, we haven't got any representation, so it's very difficult to ask any questions. Delia.
Yes, I just wanted to draw councillors' attention to the fact, as you say, it's difficult that there's nobody here. But I noticed that they've asked us for £1,000, and I think the total cost is £5,000. But I know they've submitted applications to nearly every town and parish council in the city. So that's something to for councillors to bear in mind, just that application, I know from talking to fellow clerks, has gone to nearly every town and parish.
I know we thought we said before that if they didn't attend, but if you look at the date of this event, there's only 6 weeks away, and considering the sort of sensitivity of this grant application, you know, I think we've all in the room and in the parish at some point the pandemic has been negatively impacted by it. And my own daughter, she worked as a student nurse in Manchester at the time, and she was, you know, one of the last people to see people passing on, and actually was the one holding a tablet for their families to say goodbye. So I think it was a horrendously upsetting time, and I think to recognise it in Milton Keynes is a really good thing for us to encourage. Is there any questions for any of the?
Well, in light of the fact that we haven't got no representation, it's very hard to sort of like talk amongst ourselves instead of talking to the person. But we all understand about COVID and everything else. And I would say that, you know, considering that they put out to every single town and parish council in the city, and it's a city-wide thing, I propose that we put in half, you know.
Yeah. Is there any other comments for anybody else? Sam?
Yeah, because they haven't represented themselves, I was saying, because we've got 48 parishes in Milton Keynes, and I think we should, if they all gave them the money they want, that's quite a bit. So I would put in about £300 towards the application. Instead of
Any other comments before we? So would you like to propose that we award £300?
Yes, please.
Do we have a seconder?
Well, I'll propose £500, but I'll second to her £300.
All those for? Those against?
I was going to go to 500 as well.
It's just the number of parishes we've got.
There's 48 parishes.
£5,000.
They could end up with like 20 grand or more. Just like
So,
local ones.
I'll second.
I've had emails from the clerks.
Oh, okay.
There's been emails circulating
They
saying
won't get no money,
they've
Marie.
received them and canvassing opinion about who's paying or not.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you what the outcome of that was.
Okay.
But
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Then I'm for.
I think that's a reasonable amount.
Okay, then yes.
Thank you very much. We'll grant we're on that one. Thank you. Thanks for your comments, everyone. Okay. Next agenda item is our plan applications. So look. So the first one is there. Okay. So the first one is number one is 2302498/FUL 69 to 71 Queensway MK2 2EX. This is change of the first floor to provide 4 one-bedroom residential units with new residential entrance and staircase with roof lights. So this, for those who don't know, this is the old Barclays Bank building, the top floor of that, which goes down through Oxford Street. So it's there. I've had a look at the plans, and there is parking denoted, which is really good, and there's actually refuse within the planning as well. So things like that have been has been have been planned in. Any thoughts from anybody? It's four 1-bedroom residential units. So on top of the old Barclays, which goes down Oxford Road. It's quite big.
There's quite a lot of parking at the back of there.
Yeah, a little bit of parking. They've got about 4 or 5 parking spaces out there.
Yeah, it's quite a big area.
According to the SPD on parking, each 1-bedroom dwelling in the zone of Bletchley requires 1.33 parking spaces, so it's short.
But in terms of the location, there's lots of parking around there, isn't there?
Yeah, but it has
on the plot.
Yeah,
okay.
And I've just seen that it's actually been objected to by highways for parking.
Okay, so what would you like to do? Would you like to comment on this one? Around parking, so there's inadequate parking.
I think
the SPD.
I think with the location of the location of these premises is in an area of Queensway where actually there is a really bad parking problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I'm corrected, it's the other side of the road from the Con Club.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that
No, it's on the same side of the road.
No,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant across the road rather than across Queensway.
Yeah.
And I think that there is really, it's really difficult to park around there, and I'm wondering whether it will actually create more of a problem if there is a lack of visitor spaces, etc.
Just looking at the, if I may, Chair, just looking at their highways objection, they're expressing concern about the lack of EV charging and also the lack of cycle stands as well. Just the lack of
EV charging, okay.
Yeah, I think we might have to put an objection on the grounds of parking and amenities.
Okay. Is everybody? We've got a second for that.
I also think that, sorry, Chair, I didn't put my hand up. I also think that looking at the plans, this is actually a building which actually would suit being two 2-bedroom flats rather than 4 1-bedroom flats. If you actually look at the design, 2 of the flats are actually on internal walls, one of them has a window at either end, and they've actually put light wells in the middle of the flat, in one area of the flat, to try and bring light into the premises. And it just feels that isn't, that could, if you have a long, thin flat and you just have one window at one end of the flat, it doesn't look that that's very suitable to me. I think that what we want is to have homes in Bletchley that are nice, decent homes, not.
But in terms of their planning application, is that something we can comment on?
It is reasonable to comment on design.
Okay.
If you think that the living accommodation doesn't comply with the principles of good design, that is a legitimate planning consideration. I think it's easier to sustain an objection on the grounds of parking because we've had the advice from highways about it. It's lack of light. Do you feel as if the lack of light?
I think the lack of light leads to a substandard home. And if you were to build anything new, rather than kind of reuse the building, you wouldn't be able to get away with it. And I think that, that for me, I personally don't think it's appropriate development.
Okay, so there's 2 angles that we can
On top of
oppose. One on parking.
yes,
The provision for cycle racks as His City Council picked up, and that's its design of the building. Do we have a seconder for that proposal? Okay, and all those for? Is that a opposition? So the next one has actually got the wrong address on it in the Peniel packs. What's the address again, John?
It's Lakes Estate, Stratford.
So it's not 10 to 14 at Aylesbury Street. It's actually Stoke Road. It's Lakes Estate, Stoke Road in Bletchley. And this is for approval of details required by condition 21 acoustics of permission reference 20/00942/OU out. Any comments on this one?
Did you say something to do with acoustics?
Acoustics, yeah. It's acoustics, condition on acoustics and permission.
I'm guessing that this application is in some way related to the
It's got some
the change of to Greg's from this is that garage, isn't it, on Aylesbury Street?
No, this is
There's somewhere in Lake Street.
it's in some of the lakes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so
I'm meaning Brighton.
Yeah, if you click on it, I think Alison Ray put it, I don't know if she's put the wrong
It's
address in.
just a discharge petition,
Yeah.
and the noise officer's saying that he's satisfied.
So just play music, basically.
No
I
comment.
propose no comment
No comment.
on this one.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
if the planning officer's.
Okay, we'll do a don't comment on John. Number 3 is 23/02794/HOU, Tudor House, Western Road, MK2 2BR, conversion of existing roof space with front and rear dormer with hip to gable end, single story rear extension, and additional roof lights and windows. Do we have any comments on this application? Okay, are we happy to go no comment?
Yeah.
Okay, propose. Who second that one? All those for? Okay, there's no comment on that one. Super. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 7. So this is on pages 23 to 32 of your pack, and to decide the town council's involvement with Soup Fest 2024. So on the pack.
If you'd like,
Davina.
yeah, Davina's can talk about this if you'd like to.
Yeah.
You there, Davina?
Hi, Davina.
Hi. Yeah, so Soup Fest is something that the YMCA have done to raise valuable donations and to raise awareness of the work that they do. And this will be their 3rd year. We were involved in the 2023 edition by submitting a recipe as a council. And so they've invited us to join again. And there are a few different ways that we can get involved. Just to kind of note, the YMCA obviously benefit our residents in our area quite well. A lot of their people kind of come from there, and they attended a lot of our events as well, and provided crafts, etc., and services and support for people that visited our events. So it's a good connection from my perspective. So we, as a council, as an area, we can either contribute a recipe, we can sponsor the book, we can hold an event, we can sell books, or we can volunteer at the YMCA events. As part of the report, you'll kind of see a bit more detail about it. I suppose the suggestions for you guys to decide on are really whether we stick with what we did last year and submit a recipe, which can be done in 2 ways. Either we can do one as a council, or we can do a mini kind of social campaign and ask the residents from the diverse area to create a recipe, and then we decide which one we submit. And then there are 3 sponsorship kind of options. So a headline at £2,000, a print, which is sponsoring the book, at £1,000, or sponsor the launch event at £500. In regards to the other options around holding an event, selling books and volunteering, because of their continued involvement in our events, I suppose that kind of feels a bit redundant to do any of those items. So I suggest we kind of members decide between either contributing the recipe or sponsoring the book if we want to be involved this year at all.
Okay. Any comments from any members?
How well did the recipe go last year?
I mean, it's hard to. I think it's hard to kind of say on an individual recipe by recipe basis, but the book in itself raised their £10,000 target, and they continue to sell issues even now. And there's been a lot of kind of social campaign, etc., about it, and they have kind of mentioned as a council we've been tagged in a lot of that campaign as well. So we've had the kind of exposure off the back of it.
Yeah,
sure. And will it take up much officer time organising another recipe, say for instance, from the community? How much time will that take?
I think it depends on what we're doing. So if we are doing one ourselves internally, then very minimal time, I suppose. In regards to doing a social campaign for the residents, I envisage it being 2 to 3 kind of social posts, maybe go out in the digital or print newsletter. And then there'll be some kind of round robin between the councillors to decide which recipe we want to go with. So it should be minimal, although it is obviously some effort.
Great.
Same as last year.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you provided last year, Davina, didn't you? Was your
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a Gujarati recipe, yeah. So it was a kind of non-traditional soup, yeah.
The thing is, if it's around the world, themes around the world, shouldn't we offer this out to the community initially and say, you know, we've got such a diverse community
anyway, so we'll see what comes back.
Fantastic to get some.
I think we go that.
And campaign to promote it, really good. In terms of offering support, what's everyone's thoughts on the headline, the print, or the launch?
What do you mean?
So we can provide them. We don't have to, but we can just stick the recipe, or we can sponsor the event and run the event. But they are always present at our events, like Davina says. And we have a lot of.
I think we go down the same road as we did last year and do the recipe, but put it out to the community and see what comes back. So
that's our proposal. Is that
I think there are 3 options that I saw.
Yeah.
Headline 2000. That feels. It feels like it should be something that is perhaps done by lots of councils for that level. I think that there are other sponsorship options such as the launch event or the community lunch, and that's £500. And I think that we've contributed to, we've donated a room in the past, and I think we've done that maybe twice. I think £500 is a good contribution, as well as the thingy, if you would be prepared to alter your proposal.
To include £500 as well. Yes, I'm quite happy with it.
Is there a second for that proposal?
Yep.
And all those for?
Yeah.
Anything against? So that is that we'll offer the community to provide a recipe and a small media campaign and 500 for the launch event. Super, thank you very much. Okay, so the next one is that's the next one is to receive an update on the community events and confirm the date for Christmas on Queensway. Links last night.
Okay, so for me again, this is quite a meaty one. So we'll try and get through it at pace. So the next event planned is Community Iftar on 22nd of March, so just over 6 weeks away. I'm really pleased to say that actually 200 tickets were released and they're gone. They're completely sold out. We are absolutely at capacity, and 150 of those are from the community. So it's really positive to see a kind of cross attendee kind of registration anyway. So that's really positive. That's at Palatial Hall. We've got some speakers like the Mayor of Milton Keynes, obviously Ethan is going to be speaking as well. We've got the youth mayor, deputy youth mayor will be attending, as well as we have a young person who Aisha has organised a young person doing the call to prayer. So we've got a real kind of cross section of members of the community attending, which I think is really positive. So that's going well from a planning perspective. We've got food and speakers and decor, etc. On that one.
Sounds great.
And then,
Davina, did you want to share your screen with the presentation you did, or are you happy? Am I right to do it for you? So, do you need it?
I've got a print copy here, so it's up to you. Do you want me to do it, or?
Has everyone got it in their packs? No, thank you.
It would be good in case anybody's watching.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Share it here.
Carry on talking to Davina, and I'll
Okay, cool. After that, a week later, we've got Easter, which is going to be held on Stanier Square. And so we're going to be doing a Easter egg trail using the shops along Queensway with clues, etc. And we'll have some crafts and a visit from the Easter Bunny as well on Stanier Square. So it's just going to be a single day event running from like 11 till 3. Just mindful, obviously, from the advice of some of the councillors, just mindful of the time of year and the potential weather, etc. So although it's a kind of minimal event, it's a great way for us to get everyone out and do some crafts, etc., without too much cost involved there.
Thank you.
Moving on to the big street eats. So obviously we've got a little bit of time for this to come ahead. So really it's to start thinking on theme. The nice thing about the big street eat is obviously we're into our 3rd year. So from a kind of structure and logistics perspective, we've almost got kind of the jigsaw pieces that we can put together. And really the big thing to start planning and thinking about is the theme, because that's what brings it to life and gives it its vibrancy. The Paris Olympics starts the day before, so on the 26th of July. So it feels like a really great tie-in. The Olympics is obviously a really big community event across the world. And obviously we've got the Pathfinder trials going ahead. So it might be a nice way to tie in health and sport and community. And so really it's to get some feedback and thoughts on that theme from the members.
So last year, looking at the layout, was okay. It was good. There was a lot of people there. I think there could be a bit more stuff for children to do.
Yes.
I think there was a lot of food, but we want to make it as cheap as possible for people to come and eat. Because some of the stalls were a bit expensive, very, very, very expensive. I find that some of the stalls were very expensive. So it's a family fun day, and we want to make sure that we sort of like get a wide ranging amount of food, but we don't want it so expensive that people don't buy it. I think that we can do with doing a bit more, more themes around kids and children and things like that. Just to add more to do.
Okay, thank you. Elia.
I think we did sort of cover all that when we did the wash up after the event, and I think all that's been taken on board. So I think, really good points, but I think that's built into the plan.
Joan, if you can skip ahead to not the next slide, the one after, because I think there's 3 on the big street eat. So just to, that one, thank you. Just to kind of touch on that very slightly, we've already looked at reserving the Gamer Megabus, which was popular, and we have a new addition joining us potentially is the Kids Play Bus, which is a soft play bus for under 10s. So again, whether regardless, there's still something for kids to do, and potentially get your thoughts on working out some sort of free kids meal scheme with an adult meal. And just to touch on your point, Richard, about the cost of meals, etc. We potentially could do something that we work with a vendor or a couple of vendors to reduce the cost of that, or that we fund some of those meals potentially.
Yeah, that's what we discussed a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Some sort of concession would be good for kids. Ethan.
Is it our intention to continue the Pride of Bletchley Awards as well at the same, because it's not mentioned on here.
That's
No, yeah.
Oh, sorry, definitely.
No, I think,
And it will be there as well.
I think that's the plan. I think,
And just one other point, I think that, so we've had a number of events that are very different. I'm wondering, and it might not be popular, whether actually having entertainment all on one stage is a better idea than having entertainment zones at either end of the event footprint, because it just felt that people were either at one end or the other. And I think that I remember there was such a buzz the first year with so many people in the square at the top. So I think it would be good to continue that maybe.
Yeah, certainly agree.
I think that was another.
Again,
And maybe even have a don't go down as far as Elizabeth Square.
I think we'd like some feedback on whether you feel that this theme of the Olympics is a good theme. We were thinking of trying to tie in with Bletchley Pathfinder this year, which is all about getting people more active and healthy eating. And so something that encompassed vitality and play and health. And so Davina's hit on the Olympics. I just wondered what the feedback is on that.
We kind of really gave feedback on the Olympics. It was your suggestion, wasn't it? Olympics?
Yeah, but sort of David said that's really good.
Right.
I think we all sort of said, oh, well, that'd be perfect. Some
But
time
then-
in, but for being people being active and that's a sort of global event. And I think we'd probably do with a working group put together, really.
Yeah,
That's
well, I think we'll come back to the old issue of do we have a working group or do we have a subcommittee?
No.
But I know you prefer a working
Working
group.
groups, just do teams
We can
meetings
carry on with the work.
very easily, can't we?
I know it's the Olympics thing we went for, but I mentioned about if you would research to see if you could get hold of a dragon for the Chinese New Year. Vina?
Yeah, there is potentially a dragon available from Festive Road, and just obviously mindful we had the dragon last year as well, but we can definitely work on trying to incorporate that.
It's not with culture, isn't it? It's supposed to be about all the themes of culture. It worked though, didn't it? The things that go through the street.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
first year we did it.
Oh, yeah.
People loved all
Yeah,
that. The
that's
elephants. Was it the elephant we had? That was everybody loved that.
We love
So it doesn't matter if we've had it before or if it's similar, but it's the theme of the dragon this year, the Chinese New Year. It just makes sense to keep the culture stuff as well included in with
We have the flags.
the thing, because the kids love and the families love all that going through it. We don't get to see that kind of stuff. So
I think it's a really good thing because it gives you all those different cuisines again,
Yeah.
because all those countries that are involved in the Olympics.
yeah.
You get one person flag wearing a national dress or something like that. Representing the country, really good.
I think tonight's not really
Not
about,
that.
it's
So
not really
that's-
about sort of getting
No, I
into
think
the
the-
detail, it's just getting the approval
Yeah, just making sure.
for the,
Let's go with that theme for sure. It's really good. And like I said, we'll tie in nutrition, etc., which
Yes,
is
yeah.
related to athletes, etc., isn't it? Hydration. No, definitely, we'll go for that. Thank you, Davina.
Great, thank you. A new one for this financial year is potentially Apple Day. So using the community orchard, I know we've discussed this at some of the previous community committees. So just making, we had a meeting with Will's team just to make sure that we kind of covered all the bases in regards to the grass and landscaping, etc. And it seems to be something that they want to go for as well. So this is really about making sure that we can celebrate the green space, and again tying into that kind of health element of how do getting people outside, eating fruit and home cooking, etc. So there's some nice things that we can do around crafts, but also have maybe a take-home cooking table so people can follow a recipe, create it, and then take it home to cook and use that recipe time and time again. So encourage those skills and reducing food waste, etc. So yeah.
And we talked about maybe having some possible music there, maybe a gazebo with some of the acoustic guitar or something would be quite nice.
Yeah, and working with some of the local residents associations to tie that in as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very
I know Fenny
much.
Stratford had the picnic, didn't they? So.
Yeah, yeah. It's Lorraine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. So that's Apple Day. The next one is Halloween / pumpkin patch. So Halloween option 1 is doing a 1-day event on Stanier Square, almost kind of very similar to the one that we had this Halloween just gone, with clues and fancy dress, music, a mini market, some food, etc. And you know, we were lucky this Halloween with some great weather. I know, Terry, obviously you were there, which was brilliant. You're a fab judge, so thanks for that. So that's option 1. And then option 2 is the pumpkin patch. Again, I know we've touched on this previously, so having a pumpkin patch on Leon Rec with John, if you can go to the next slide for me, please. So with pumpkins and games and crafts, again, more cook along, potentially working with the Play Association or the YMCA, etc. Just checking in with the other officer teams around logistics and pros and cons, etc. I know we've proposed here a 4-day event, but looking at also the kind of overnight security of having an event set up, etc. We need to obviously consider the safety and the health and safety elements of it and the risk elements of it. So potentially not doing a 4-day event, but potentially doing a 1-day event, because it would be our first year. So we're still getting great value out of it because we do it at half term, etc. And that will allow us to grow year on year until we hopefully can get to a 4-day event. So it's really what we need today is kind of a decision as to which event you want to.
Personally, this is just my own thoughts, is do something different this year and the pumpkin patch, because if you want to go to a pumpkin patch, it's quite a way out of Bletchley to get there, and it's quite expensive when you get there. What I was thinking of, Leon Rec is very good, but obviously it's got its challenges with ASB over there. I was thinking maybe even look at the orchard to host it, because you've got parking there, so you can pick the pumpkins up right in the back of the car. From the Leon Rec, there's no parking there at all.
We did talk about this as an office team, and that was my first thought as well, Terry.
And it's got trees there, it'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I was talked round though. I was talked round by the rest of the team who were concerned about accessibility.
And not that, it's just a bit out of the way.
It was easier to walk to Leon Rec.
Yes, you'd get more people from other areas to go to Leon Rec.
Previous events that we've done as a council in Leon Rec has been very well attended, and they've walked in from so I don't see why we can't go back to the days where people are going to walk in from all over now.
And a lot of people will walk down to Leon Rec, to be honest.
There is plenty of parking.
Yeah. Ethan.
I just so I know that there is some history. I think that in those days the community was a lot smaller, and there, you know, we have built at the extremes of our community, so we could have more pressure for kind of parking, as is said. That's not really, I'm just making a point, that's not really my concern. My concern is actually that we've got 2 events on 2 Saturdays, and actually one after the other, and actually being sensible, do we just want to focus on having one great event and having mediocre ones? And I'm also thinking about the officer time in doing this and all of the,
Was it the Apple Day?
I do hear your point.
Is Apple Day actually that
the Business Association
day? Or is that just a made-up day?
I think you can have
you can have a range of.
I went to it last year with the Business Association. It was really, really nice.
So you could do Apple Day in September, technically.
The apples wouldn't be ripe in September, but probably the apples get stolen anyway before we ever get.
Why couldn't you have like apples at the Halloween thing and a week later? And actually,
combine the two.
You could also maybe kind of do, take the spice theme from the pumpkin and maybe have like a spiced apple cider or something like that. You know, like,
It's a nice thought.
do you know what I mean? So I think that I just think it's like we're going to end up. We've got to think of the officer team, and we're just going to end up with people, you know, having problems.
I do hear what you're saying about the officer times, but the community would expect us as the council to be doing something about Halloween, and I think Halloween is more with the pumpkin patch and stuff like that.
That sounds a great idea.
Possibly a more universally understood event.
I'm not sorry. Need to be clear. I'm not saying don't do the pumpkin thing. I'm saying I think we should choose between Apple Day or pumpkin patch, or find a way of combining them so that they're both at the same thing and having one event rather than an event on the 19th and then an event on the 26th, which is a week later.
Davina?
Yeah.
What would it be good to sort of like combine the two together? Is that something that can happen?
It's definitely possible, absolutely. I mean, the official Apple Day is Monday, the 21st of October. And as Delia mentioned, we potentially need to get a provision of apples anyway, given the kind of how ripe they are from the orchard or whether they're available, etc. So, you know, we'll be getting in pumpkins, we'll be getting in apples. There's nothing to say that we can't do it as a combined effort at Leon Rec.
Isn't it worth having a chat with Lorraine though? Because the event she did last year was fine and didn't take a lot to, you know, to stand up, and I was only for a few hours in the afternoon.
I think that was.
Would you provide them a bit of some funding towards it?
Well, so this is being presented as a council event. I am more than happy if people to give funding to resident associations to organise their own thing. But what my concern is, sitting on the Employment Policy Committee, is how are all these things going to be delivered, and the expectation that somebody's got to be there to drop off gazebos on the Saturday, or you know, so we have a problem with resourcing those events, and for it to happen on the 19th and then again a week later, I think it's going to be a problem, and we're going to end up right at the last minute going, how are we going to get all of this done?
I'd support that, and I did raise that point this morning in the officer meeting about it. I think that we could support Stratford Residents Association if they want to do an Apple Day. We could support that.
Yeah.
The other issue that I think you could think about is whether this pumpkin patch day needs to be on a Saturday. If it's going to be during half term, is it worth considering doing it on a weekday during half term? Halloween itself is in the middle of the week, I think. Half term, I think it starts the 28th of October, the final week of October. So you could potentially
Do it on a Thursday.
do it on a weekday.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Say again?
Thursday is Halloween, but we could do it on the Friday quite easily. And you know, a combination of Apple Day and pumpkin patch is very tenable, you know, because it's autumn themed essentially, just with those other things overlaid.
Can I propose that we as a committee ask the officer team to look at this, because I don't think we're going to solve this tonight, and actually to come back with a proposal based upon kind of one event. In the meantime, you could also have the conversation with Fenny Stratford Residents Association and see if they want to do that, and we could support it.
Yeah, that's a pragmatic approach. Yeah, let's do that.
But it sounds like the pumpkin patch idea is favoured over the other idea.
Do something new.
Do something new.
Just do a combined one.
It'd be great if people have been to one of those before. It'd be really good. Yeah. Definitely.
Well, if Fenny Stratford didn't want to do anything, and we can, you know, we can do a combined one. Is that what we're talking about?
If they'll still do it anyway. We're just saying that, you know, we can support them a bit more. It was a really nice afternoon event. You can pick some blackberries, you can pick apples.
You could even do it
really nice.
on that day, that they could do that all day at the pumpkin thing.
Yeah, it's the orchard. You've got the ambience of the orchard. We even had a flower like just somewhere, you know.
It was very well organised, wasn't it?
That was great. Okay, thank you very much. Anything else to be in Christmas?
Christmas.
Yeah, we've got a few more just to get through. So Christmas, the big thing here was a proposal on a change of date. Typically we've run Christmas the last 2 years on the first Saturday of the month. So this year that would fall on the 7th of December. There was a request to potentially change it to the 30th of November. The key considerations around I suppose from an events perspective, the key considerations are, does it fall just after payday? Is it still within a festive period? What other events are going on? The 30th is slightly less congested currently in regards to events, and does fall after payday. And the main reason for this request was around the other community events that happen, i.e. in the Lakes Estate and the church. I'm not sure that we still have the same classes to
You know we don't, because I already told you. We already discussed that we don't have that anymore.
So what are we going for then? I mean, it's obviously not my place to decide, so.
But I told you that Father Christmas is only available to you on the 7th, so you would need to stick to the 7th of December, and I will be the one that just doesn't get to do the event because I can't get a place, but I was going to speak to you about that. So currently, where I was going to use, I normally have the 2nd. So he reserves the 2nd December for me, as normal every year. And he was going to do it on the 30th, so I could do mine on the 7th, so there was space in the church. But he's booked on the 30th of November, so he can only do the 7th of December. So we'd have to go back to, you stick into the 7th of
Or we find another Father Christmas.
Unless you find another Father Christmas.
It's pretty good.
He's our preferred Father Christmas.
Yeah,
I mean,
list.
it's just a shame. I think we need to learn from where we've gone wrong with this date thing for future years, because this didn't need to happen, did it? There didn't need to be this confusion about dates. I don't quite
That's probably my fault.
I don't quite know how it's arisen, but we don't want to be in a scenario where we're treading on each other's toes. And
No, I think it's just the way the year's fallen.
the way it's
all
fallen out.
fallen early this year, so the dates are
I
all,
think it's because
of being leap year.
leap year,
Yeah.
isn't it? That's why.
It's kind of messed up the dates a bit,
Yeah.
but it just works out. Well, normally I'd have the 2nd December for mine. The church have decided to change their weeks and do something else, so I don't have that venue, but I have Santa. But that's my problem, not the town council.
Right.
So just stick with the 7th.
Stick with the 7th.
Yeah.
Is that the committee's?
Yeah. Yeah.
If Father Christmas is happy, we're happy.
He's a good Santa.
Okay.
No worries, just to cover off Christmas then, with a final point, is that there's the mega bus, the soft play bus, the land train, as we've just heard, Santa, and the Santa Dash are all kind of ready to be booked as soon as we have a firm date as well. So we've got some good elements already potentially in place for those, and we just need to think about a theme if we want a theme other than Christmas to overlay. So that's something we can discuss at a later date. And then just to round off the financial year super quickly, so we've got a proposed date with the Vegan Market Company for the 11th of January for our annual Veganuary Vegan Market. So we'll have confirmation of that towards the middle of the year. Then the new event for 24-25 is the Lunar New Year, which falls on the 1st of February, and it's the Year of the Snake, very excitingly. And it's obviously I think it's our second largest minority population in the area. So that'd be really great to be able to introduce that. And hopefully with the success of Community Iftar this year, we'll be able to continue that and have a second year of Community Iftar in 2025 as well. That's it. That's events. That's where we're at.
Super. Thank you, Davina. Any questions?
I've just got one question. So we're just having the one vegan market and no other markets or crafts markets or anything this year, is that right?
Somewhat, yeah, that's understandable.
Just so that it's clear to everybody that that's what's been agreed.
So do the events contain any market activity or not?
I think the idea is that we'd have craft stalls at
Okay.
as many of them as we can get craft stalls at.
Thank you, Davina. Any other questions before we move on to item number 9? So this is to.
It's very warm, isn't it? Very warm.
Announcement. To note the 2024 Community Awards Programme, so it's pages 37 to 40 in your pack. Okay.
Okay, so it's me again. Lucky you guys. So the community awards, as Ethan mentioned, we obviously award those at the big street eat. And so really the point is to try and talk about these and publicise them a lot earlier than we have done in previous years. And this hopefully will allow us to generate more nominations and kind of get a wider awareness of these wonderful awards that we do. Suggesting that we stick with the same categories that we've had in previous years. They seem to be working well, and really it's about just generating more awareness. And if you can note the key dates, or if you can have a look at the key dates, so really to get them announced on social and in the newsletters, and open nominations as early as this month. And then potentially work on a very low kind of effort social campaign, as in just interviewing some of the previous winners from last year and talking to them. And really it's about raising awareness of each potential category, because I think that might be the kind of missing element of people know the awards are there, but they're not really exactly sure what the categories mean or why they should be nominated. Nominations close at the end of May, allowing time for judging and for the invites to go out to the winners and nominees, etc., to obviously get the footfall through to Big Street Eat as well, and then doing the awards presentation on the 27th of July as usual at Big Street Eat. So this really is a kind of I suppose just for you guys to note that we're hoping to do this a bit earlier.
And we're keeping the same categories as last year?
These are the same, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions, anyone? Just to know. Super. Thank you, Davina. Item number 10, to approve the updated T's and C's for event trader application form, pages 41 to 62 in your pack. So can you give us an update on why we've needed to update the terms of reference? It says about regulatory and legal information provided. What sort of information is that? And why is it needed?
Oh yes, so me again. Yeah, I know, right? So we've. I mean, it's not that we've been running at any risk with what we've been doing previously. It's really just an amalgamation of a couple of forms, and to streamline the process and just ensure that we've got everything well documented. So, for example, over the last years, we've had an application form and the terms and conditions. And then we've been ensuring that we get the right kind of insurance documents and regulatory documents from the traders, etc. This updated document just allows us to do that all in one place, with the emphasis on creating a digital version as the kind of first point of contact, which then allows us to track things better in regards to document kind of expiration and making sure that we've got the compliance for it. And just updating slightly the things like the cancellation terms on the documents as well, so that if traders cancel or pull out last minute, or we cancel events, etc., it's very clear as to where everyone stands in regards to fees, etc.
Okay. Good. In terms of the traders for this year, will these forms then go out now for the events that we've got coming up this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And just a side note to say that this isn't essentially really a new document. This is an amalgamation of documents that we already have. So, for example, the regular market trader form in terms of conditions, it forms the basis of this. So it's stuff that's been kind of legally created previously.
I think it won't be looking like this because this isn't compliant with our style guide. This is just to give you indication of the content.
Yes.
Okay, so I propose that we approve.
Second.
All those in favour? Okay, thanks, Davina.
Thank you.
Thanks, Davina. I know you have to go soon, so that's fine if you want to drop off. Just
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Thanks, Davina.
Item number 11, to receive a report on Fenny Poppers 2024. So I guess that's from you, John.
Yeah. So this is we're trying to get conversations done early with Fenny Choppers because in previous years we've had a bit of a trouble sorting out last minute logistics. So we met them recently, and there were talks about having a partnership agreement, but it's been decided to go down more out the community grant group again, rather than the partnership, because of various reasons.
I think more to do with them and where they're at with their organisation and their committee. And it just wasn't felt that this was the right time to embark on a longer term relationship, because I think they've had some changes to their committee and personnel who's supporting them. So it just didn't feel like this was the right year to do that. But we did talk about revisiting that next year, depending on what happens this year and how the event evolves.
So I think we're at a stage where we can actually agree a partnership deal anyway. So we're this early on, so we can agree kind of what we would like to see there in terms from our side. So if we can get that early as well, rather than last minute again, we've got no one to kind of go there and do anything. So we can have the event signage, we can have granite gazebos, we can. So they've agreed things, yeah. Sorry, they've agreed to. Yeah, we can have a community stalls as well that offered. So we can offer. We might have people we want to give a community stall to. They can go there as well.
Is it our wish as a council to take on Fenny Poppers?
No.
Because I don't think that's our wish as a council to take it on.
Well, that's not what
No, this is just supporting. Providing funding. There's an element of acknowledgement and positive awareness of what we're doing, and we're part of that. So. Previously, I don't think that's happened. It might be because of town council, we're not doing enough on our side.
I think that's okay.
So there will be a grant application coming along next, with more details, and
We'll come to the first.
Expect that.
The first meeting of the.
Good. Okay.
Next
The
actual year.
the next one in April, basically.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, John. Now we're going on to item number 12. So to discuss the financial support provision for the Town Council for Pride 2024, it is 65 to 74 in your pack. So we've got some options, haven't we? So you can do it.
Yeah, so we've had early correspondence again trying to get ahead of themselves in terms of funding. So we've had some options for us to provide sponsorship. Previous years we have given sort of monetary gifts to them, so it depends on what you want.
1,000, wasn't it?
I think we did 500.
We've done different amounts.
Yeah, we did. We bought stickers before. I think one year we gave 500. So yeah, it's over to you what you want to do this year, really. If anything,
are these your packages at all? Are they?
Well, these are packages they're offering.
Right.
Not to say I don't know what other options there are out of that. If you can just give a donation. Okay. Find out, but that's something at the moment.
What do the members think? 500. So ramped it up a bit, haven't they? I guess they get so many people going there. If you want a bit of free festival, you need to pay for it. And they request, they need a lot of sponsorship. Never seen that. Any thoughts from any of the members?
What did we do last year? £1,000?
I think we did. We 1 year we awarded some for tables, didn't we?
Yes, they were really short of money for tables, and we
Yeah, that was the first year.
that was the first year we did it. Yeah, we paid for the tables.
I think we just bought a sticker last year.
I think we did a lower amount.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that option this year.
It
So
appears to be being offered at this stage. But I don't think they're going to turn away anything we offer them. I mean, this is what you're buying for sponsorship.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got a different amount in mind, we could say to them.
Just how we get our sort of brand there.
Oh, that's the thing with the sponsorship, you get your brand.
You get your brand on there, but is there any other packages which will get our name on?
I think in previous years they've done social media posts, but it's it's an expensive event to run, and any kind of festival or carnival event is expensive to run, and you know, I think it's important. I think it's important that the council do support it.
Yeah. What level of support we need to give? We'll definitely support it. And will this come out of next year's budget? Or?
And I think it can come out of next year's budget because the deadline is the 30th of April, so it can come out of next year's.
Provisions this year. We've got
8,300.
So it can come out of this year.
So
It can come out of this year.
I kind of propose that we go for that rainbow package. Because we think we're in March, April, and we've got the new financial year.
How much?
2,500.
Still got Easter to come out now.
This is gone.
This is grants, community grant pot.
Yeah.
You know,
So the Easter money doesn't.
No, that's separate. That's events. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're already budgeted.
Sorry. So how much have we already gave away tonight?
We've given away
500, 300, 800 pounds, 800.
We've still got 8 left, sorry.
Yeah, so in the report at the end, you'll see it in there.
So it don't be free.
Yeah, we're not expecting anybody. We're not.
8381. Yeah, that's right. Next year, do you get?
We get a banner. We get a joint page placement. We get joint social media posts. I think fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's all free. It's a free event, so you know. That's clean. Nobody has to provide a team. Yeah, that's the thing. Volunteers.
So it's a large proportion of our community that fall into the LGBT.
I think it's nice to support all the diversity in the community. So, you know, it's good to recognise everything and everyone. You know, that's what we're about. So
if I propose that we go for the rainbow package?
Are we specifying colour? Because I think that what I've got from
we'll let you
is the 6 different rainbow sponsors.
I think we should let you pick.
Yeah. I think it's for the committee.
Our logo
green and yellow.
Green, isn't it?
But I think it's mainly green.
All green.
Green?
I'll go with green. I propose we go with green.
Green, yeah.
I'll go with green.
Because I'm seeing a lot of green, like.
Super. Fine, thank you.
So second rainbow.
All those 4. Again, well done. That'd be a really good gesture.
Would quite like.
So many councillors going to the event?
Yes.
Maybe.
Or because I was just going to say, if anyone's going to the event, if we're going to sponsor, maybe we should get some T-shirts made so people.
Yeah.
Do you want?
Monkey green.
I'll be there anyway. I think I lasted half an hour last year.
It was very hot.
It was so hot.
So we'll go on to item number 13, to note a price increase from Inspire for all swimming sessions. So it's gone up, what, £2.50?
The categories have gone up 10p and the registered unemployed is 20p. So,
it's gone. It's on there and it's gone up.
Yeah, it did. Same time happened last year. I think similar to price rise. It's within budget, so the budget we have is, you know, the numbers, and it's still comes under 27,000. So
that's absolutely fine. Yeah, thank you, John. 14, to decide on youth activity provision in 24-25, 83 to 101 in your packs.
So this is more to do with the play sessions that are focused on here, because we've got Milton Keynes Play Association contacting us to book up for the Easter and summer sessions that are coming up. Where? So we do it at Leon Rec, Newton Lees, but the Lakes Estate is no more. Right? So we drop a location there. Or if there's anywhere else, I don't know. But that's the 3 locations we've done them, or we've always done them there. Prices have gone up, as you can see in the pack, the reports. I have included some old reports from the last, just as an example, to see the amount of people that we had. I think we're averaging around 55 a session from the numbers. Works out about £8 a head based on last year's prices. It's more, and they've included the brochure, it's more, do we want to continue working with the Milton Keynes Play Association? And do we want to kind of more of a blended approach of kind of using the budget to use MK Play Association and try someone else? Yet to see, I think MK Play Association, they focus on the younger age groups, which a lot of the other groups that I've been touched with are older.
How much do we give them?
So for Play Association, so our new budget this year is £11,000 for the Play Associations. They sessions run, last year was 440 per session, now it's gone up to just under £500. In Easter, we were running, I think, 3 a week.
Yeah.
We did 6 over Easter. I think we did 18 sessions over the summer. And
So that's it. So it's just summer and Easter. You fun.
we can also do half terms. So it's not just summer. We've always, since I've been here, we've always done summer, but it doesn't say we can't do half terms as well. Which personally, I think we should be looking at. Some other groups that are finding certain things.
What other groups?
So you've got like the youth club. I mean, they were already enough up and running. Maybe they could benefit from having the extra funds to do extra activities in their areas. They cover Newton Lees and
Youth Network.
Yeah.
I
mean, I just don't know. I just don't think we get very good value for money. Value for money, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Word it that way. Yes. I think she's got that avenue.
Yes, so yeah.
I was going to say, is there any other?
We've identified other providers. We have identified other providers who will provide different sorts of activities. So John's found quite a few that will do.
In the pack, you can see 5 on it. I've included the proposal for 5 on it. Who we've got? They do netball, football, basketball. You've got Let's Kick It, who I know a lot of parish councils work with and fund places for football. So we want to provide a bit of variety.
So
there are, but they start at, a bit older, whereas the Play Association will kind of, they go up to 12.
I think we've got to have that diversity again and looking at all the different age ranges, because they can probably benefit from something, whatever the situation may be. But I think it'd be good to sort of like diversify a little bit with the different groups.
What is our philosophy, and why are we doing these events? Because personally, I've never brought my son to the events, and when he was really young, I think he would not have coped with so many people. And then I kind of look at I think that sometimes we have, that age from kind of year 6 kind of onwards, which I kind of call pre-teenage and teenage kind of destruction during the summer holidays. And actually it's like, there is nothing for those children to do, because they've outgrown the parks. And, it's like all of the parks here in Newton Lees, it's like swings or roundabouts, but if you're 11, what's to stop you, like for getting on a phone, or you want something that is going to be a little bit more fun and keep these younger adults out of, to give them something that's beneficial to do. And I think that there are other activities across Milton Keynes for the much younger people, and maybe we need to think about what it is we want from these events. Is it we want to do events for the whole section of the community, or do we want to provide a resource for with more focus? And we haven't got much money, so trying to do everything for everybody might not be the way to go. I don't know. That's my 2 pence.
But that could work out very expensively. Focus on 1 or 2 children, say for instance, because the money's very tight. But I think if you open it up to see who wants to do an activity, then you'll get the buy-in from more people, and you possibly then say, well, we've only got space for X amount of people.
Yeah.
And that uptake will be first come, first serve type situation. But yeah.
I went last year with my daughter.
It just depends on how much money we've got to spend, and how far will that money reach? How many children can we accommodate?
It is. So I went with my daughter last year and she was 8 and I felt she'd outgrown it at 8. So she was, all the things were things she would have done when she was 5 and 6. So there's definitely a need to provide something for that age range, the other age range. It's the cost. That's the thing we've got there. You know, some of these. Does it tell how many they would 12 to 18-year-olds? How many kids are involved?
Yeah, I mean, in the statistics,
These are about 20
it's
places.
there.
Oh, really?
From 11 to 14, there was hardly anybody,
Yeah.
even the 8 to 11. I mean, more of them were under 5s than the 5 to 8.
I think a blended approach would be a
Yeah,
lot
so
better.
do you need all those sessions for the younger ones? You can have reduced and then introduce these other providers who might be more of an interest for the old.
What's the budget?
So the play sessions is 11,000. You've got the the senior youth club, which is 22.5, who are here tonight.
I'm talking about just for the breaks.
11,000.
11,000. Yeah, 11,000.
Because I'd say I am kind of, I was looking at kind of, on this, if you have a 3-hour event, it's just under £1,000. And so that would be £6,000 for the summer holidays. Whereas I think on the sporting events, they're saying that they can do one style of event, so a football or a thingy, 4,500. So it feels that actually it's per week, it's slightly cheaper. I also kind of sit there and think that this Olympics theme, sports, we could kind of have a summer of sport which supports our big street eat theme and it feels all connected. And I think it's something for older children to do.
I agree.
But I think it might be nice to do all of them, which is not really left around.
The concern I've got is that play sessions that have been held on the lakes have been generally well supported and valued, and we haven't got access to all of these because of the site restrictions. Do you think, I suppose I'm asking you, Councillor Wyman, do you think that parents would take children to Newton Lees for activities? No. And there's no alternative unless we can use one of the schools, really, is there?
Yeah, I might be able to get access. That'd be me. Yeah, I don't know. I think teenage thing's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And then I think we should save site. So how much would that be for the teenage section?
It depends what you want to do. So you've got kind of different activities.
I think do a teenage. Okay, we can't decide that completely now. But I say we do the teenager thing, the football, basketball, whatever it is, work out a budget for that. But then also just leave a budget for the younger kids, the families, like a smaller budget. So we can also do some kind of activity around that as well.
Blended one, yeah.
Where we could do them.
We can work that out.
We still need to have Leon Rec, one of them the little ones.
Yeah, got Liam Rec and Newton Lees still.
Well,
The first side
Then
is-
you'd be going back to then getting player association again, so you need to decide whether
We have less sessions.
If you still want to, yeah,
they
the
do
idea is
that. When they do smaller sessions,
Yeah.
like small.
we don't have to do it. Yeah, you can do one a week. You can do one
how
a
many
week.
sessions we have.
You just pick and choose, but select the dates, and we're heavily invested in
Yeah,
it.
because Leon Rec quite well attended though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
It is the little ones, I know, but that's the same.
Yeah.
But you just reduce that and then up the other stuff. That's fine.
Will residents in Lakes go to Leon Rec?
No,
So it feels like actually this is potentially we're having a loss of kind of stuff.
yeah, so that's why I'm saying if you like book normal stuff, like play session for the other areas, do the teenager one, but just leave a small budget for the Lakes estate, and then we can sort something out.
Not that far Leon Rec,
Well, go for it, but I know our residents, and it's up to,
It is
I know it's
challenging.
not far, but
It
they
is
don't.
challenging to get people to move off the Lakes Estate at times.
Even
Whether
if
there's any scope for doing anything, would they go to Blue Lagoon for anything?
they did go to that thing that happened, didn't
The
they?
blue light
Blue
thing.
lights,
Yeah, they did go to
So,
that,
so could we do something at the Blue Lagoon?
Yeah. That's an option.
possibly.
It
Yeah.
could be a different sort of thing altogether.
Yeah, we've got that patch, isn't there?
We might be able to use Waterhall School, but that's why I said if you leave a little budget and then we can come back to it.
So what I'm hearing is you want us to keep some sessions of the sort we've already had by association, but try and use the rest of the budget more creatively.
Yes.
Okay.
We will work on it.
Which was
Yes. Yes, I think that'd be a really good blend of approach.
process anyway.
It's more wider.
Okay.
That was a better wording.
Thank you. Right, okay, shall we go on to item number 15, which is to note an update on the digital heritage trail, which sounds very exciting. So,
Yes, so we heard, just before Christmas, we heard that we were successful in our bid for the Heritage Lottery funding, which we got £5,000, along with Milton Keynes match funding, they gave us £1,000 as well. So we've got the money to produce, commission Living Archive to build our digital trail, our heritage digital trail. So the thinking is, working with Living Archive, who kind of do all the legwork and producing it, is identifying a trail itself and where we go from to. So thinking is like starting from the train station, going down through Queensway, making your way eventually into Aylesford Street, Fenny, Stratford. We need to find 15 places of interest. So any places of interest of kind of heritage within that. So we can then, say, here's the route we want to go with, here's the place of interest. They will then go away and find all the kind of pictures, the footage, the information to build it. And so it's ready to be uploaded to the Trails app. So the recommendation is from them, to getting a small working group together who know the area, who are, perhaps kind of familiar with heritage sites already, so we can say this is where we believe it would work for the app, for the trail. And then we kind of hand it all over, and they kind of take it on and build it for us, and we have that feature that we've been trying to get for the past year probably.
Probably it would be good to have, it will be primarily a digital trail, but we would probably want at least an interpretation board at the beginning and at the end of the trail.
Or in the middle as well.
Or in the middle, or something
That
at
would
some
be
stage.
nice.
At some stage,
Yeah.
some stage, which it all needs to be tied in quite carefully with the public realm improvement project, because we don't want to proliferate streets and clutter. So I have been talking to the City Council about making that work. But I think we may need to allocate some additional funding, because I think that the £6,000 will get us the digital trail.
We have included signage in that as well, because that's part of the bid. I'll have to have a look what the actual bid, but
We may need a bit more.
a percentage of it was for signage.
We was actually talking about like a little bit of storyboard or something, that a visual board that people like come off the train from outside the area, go up to a board and go, right, that's a digital trail, I'm going to follow this route all the way through the town, so that, and then get to the next signpost, and get to the next one.
Yeah, the QR code.
Yeah, the idea, that's part of the application. I put the QR codes in so people can see the digital trail, go onto it, and then when they're going through, it pops up on their phone, or they say, oh, you'll buy a certain building, then and you see pictures, you see all the information and history behind it.
I think we've targeted, we have a list of volunteers who, obviously we'll open it to anybody who's interested. We have a list of volunteers who we think will be interested to work with us. And the Neighbourhood Plan Task Force groups have done quite a bit of work on identifying heritage areas. So I think that'll be quite helpful, but we just really want to crack on with it now.
Yeah, we've got the money now, so that was the...
We'd like to sort of have sort of common narrative from different people, from the community in these places. Sort of like we've got obviously a big Italian community who work at the brickworks. It'd be nice to sort of have some story from what they did.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the thing with the digital trail is it's something we could build on over time. So if we start with this route from the station to the station,
Exciting.
then we can connect it to other parts.
Very good.
Good to have Alphonse in on that.
Yeah,
We have the Italian thing because that was the theme of the.
Brilliant. Thank you, John. Last but not least, item number 16, to note a report showing the expenditure of the budget which falls within the remit of the committee, 113 to 16. Any comments from any of the members? So, this is, any comments before we close the meeting? Okay, so I declare this meeting closed at 20:51. Thank you everybody for coming, those who are watching us on our social media channels, and they can help.